Yeah, good morning. But it's not. My name's Richard Gregory Baker. I'm the youngest and fifth child of William and Helen Baker. That's Bill and Helen Baker of Fort Smith, Arkansas. My daddy's the one that brought the Safeway to this town. He oversaw the building of it there on Towson Avenue, the U-Haul that we all know. That was the original Safeway store in Fort Smith. Then when he retired, he opened up Baker's Quick Pick across from Ramsey. Forgive my slip there on my stuttering. My brother is William Garland Baker, Bill Baker. Played ball at Ramsey Junior High School and was in the Southwest Times paper every week about his sports escapades, mainly in basketball. I have to give it to him. He was one hell of a basketball player because my daddy was a basketball coach in Batesville, Arkansas after he got out of the Army Air Corps when the war was over in 1945. He was actually discharged out of Fort Chaffee back then. It's on his discharge papers. Nevertheless, let's get back to the subject here. I gave rigorous thought. No, I didn't. I cried myself to sleep last night. I cried all day yesterday. And without any consideration, I made it a point when I got up this morning to do this video. I'm directing it directly, or that didn't sound right. I am directing this towards Renee Baker and her three sons, David, Matthew, and Stephen Baker, all of the Denver, Colorado Metroplex area, and Bill's two oldest boys from his first marriage that he fucked up when he cheated on Roberta with Renee. And now this is a God-fearing Christian man, preaches the word of God, and is a fucking cop. Yeah, how's that working for you, buddy? I hope. No, I don't hope. I literally look forward and pray to his God that one of you brothers dies, or Renee, one of your relatives die, and nobody has enough, how shall I say, respect, integrity, and all those other good bullshit fucking words that a highly educated person would want to use. I hope one of you motherfuckers die and nobody ever tells you. Just like y'all did me when Bill died last October and I had to find out at 3 fucking a.m. in the morning yesterday, goofing around on my computer, going back and checking and seeing how everybody's doing on their Facebook pages. And then I seen this fucking message directed towards Bill Baker. And it's rest in peace, R.I.P. and oh, we're gonna miss you. And I'm like, what? What? No. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, all these emotions and thoughts just flood over me at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I start digging around. And within a minute of reading comments, I find out that he had died of stage 4 prostate cancer. I didn't know. According to the comments, nobody knew. But nevertheless, I think it's degrading. I think it's immoral. I think it's the wrong fucking thing to do. I think it's a lack of character, a lack of understanding, just common humanality. You can, regardless of any indifferences that me and Bill Baker, my so-called brother, because there was a time after my father and mother and second oldest sister died within 13 months back in 01, 02. He stood right outside in the yard of this apartment complex after Connie died. And she was the third of the three, Mama, Daddy, and her, in a 13-month span back then, all pass away. And he stood out here where I now live again after 18 years. I'm back here, and I'm happy and content too. But he stood out there, and it just used to fucking crawl my ass when I would hear him say my name. And when I say it, I literally hear his voice. And he went like this. He goes, "Well, Ricky, you know, because of that 9.5-year difference between me and you, I never really thought of you as a brother. And the only thing that we've ever had in common was our mother and father." Okay, brother. This is also a man that they praised in the comments. Oh, he's a great man. He's a kind soul. And these two comments really fucking got me lividly mad. I was mad and I cried, and I was mad and I cussed, and I was mad as I read these comments. There was a time that my mother and father, before they died, there was this time that when I would come in off the road, I always made a point to go see my mom and daddy, because it was the two of them that nursed me through my stays at the old St. Edward's Hospital. I think it's called, Midtown Apartments. I don't know what it is now. But they are the ones that nursed me continuously from about 1.5 years of age on, until I grew out of my severe asthma and wasn't in the hospital and doing those visits anymore for 2 or 3 weeks at a time, 4 and 5 times a year, under an oxygen tent and breathing treatments, and near death several times, from what I've been told by my parents. And it also reminds me that my big brother Billy, since he likes to call me Ricky, my brother Billy, not one fucking time do I ever remember seeing him come to that hospital. He's 9.5 years older than me, so I know he's old enough to come in the hospital with Mama and Daddy and even visit his little sick baby brother. But no, that never fucking happened. But let me get back to the comment part. I read these comments about him being that great man and wonderful human being and good cop, and yeah, right. If only y'all knew. He killed a man back when he first got on the Denver Police Department force. Says he was concerned for the safety of his partner. Okay. Shot him in the side, hit him in the neck with the second shot as he was dropping. Okay. So these comments talked about him being all these wonderful things. So when my mom and dad, towards the end years there, we're not doing too good. I came in this one trip and I walked inside the door. No sooner than I walked in the door, my mom had just broke down bawling and crying. Now, mind you, they were the only two that ever stayed in that hospital room with me. Forgive me. Making sure I lived. And I walked inside the door and Mama just busted down crying. And then my father started crying. And it was the second time in my life I'd ever seen my daddy cry. First time was when he was holding me in his arm at the funeral home, and I was just a baby, but I vividly remember it. Holding me in I was in his left arm. I remember looking down on his daddy's casket, my Grandpa Baker, and I could see his face was real red, and I could see the tears were streaming down. And I remember him holding me, and then taking my hand, taking his hand, and coming around, patting me on the back and saying, "That's my daddy. That's my daddy." Now, they say Bill Baker was a great man, Billy Baker, and I want to tell you what, my father was a great fucking man. Survived World War II. And all the flights that he went in a B-24 all over the Pacific. He come home, married my mom, and had us 5 kids. He was a great fucking man. He is. So I started crying because I didn't know what was going on. And I finally got Mama to calm down and asked what happened. What's wrong? Well, they were poor in the latter years of their lives. Social Security didn't do much. They only got $12 in food stamps. And Mama said that she'd been out of her blood pressure medicine for a couple of months because she wasn't able to refill it. She didn't have the money for it. And I said, "Well, is that all?" And she goes, "No, Ricky," she goes, "ain't got no gas in the car. The tires are wore out on it." Actually, Daddy said that. That's what he was concerned about himself. Of course, they were both emotionally distraught, so, they could spew out anything that was hurting them and bothering them, and I goddamn sure would fucking help. So I went into the kitchen with them, had them sit down at the table, and we brought out their basket of all their medications, their empty bottles, and ones that they only had a few in, and I went over them all with Mama and made a list, and then I called the pharmacy and placed the order for them. And then I told him, "Look, I gotta make a phone call here real quick." I didn't need to, but I did anyway, only because of the humanality, common sense, the humanity, the big fucking heart that I've got. I stepped outside and I called my brother, Billy Baker, police officer of Denver Police Department, God-fearing Christian man. I called him, and he said, I'm trying to remember exact words because he was, when he talked to me, it was always that fucking cop voice and mentality. Well, Ricky, what do you need? I never called that motherfucker for anything. But I told him, I said, listen, Bill, I just got in town here and I'm over at Mom and Dad's, and no sooner than I walked in the door, Mom and Daddy just broke down. I said, I don't understand, but I figured it out, and I said, Mama's been out of her medicines for several of her serious important medicines, like her heart pill and blood pressure medications and her insulin. And I said, Billy, I said, how about, I've already called the order in. This is the pharmacy. Rattled off phone number. He knew who it was because we bought our medications from Harlan Daniel Pharmacies here in Fort Smith, Arkansas for years and years and years when I was raised up through the hospital. And I asked him, I said, how about me and you go in halves and pay for Mom and Daddy's medicines? I can take care of the tires, and I'll go get the oil changed and have the car serviced for them and make sure everything's right there. And I said, but how about you split the cost of the medicines with me? And this is what I'm talking about, those comments, because I'm going to get back to two of them here in a moment. I said, how about you split the cost of the medicines with me, and I'll take care of the rest of the stuff, the tires, the oil change, the service. And I said, I'll make sure all their OG&E bill and everything is paid up. I said, before I leave town, I'll make sure they're taken care of. I said, but how about you split the cost with me? You know Harlan Daniel, you know the pharmacy. You can call, you pay for it with your credit card on half or whatever the fuck you want to do, and I'll pay for the other half. And here's what this God-fearing police officer of Denver, Colorado says to me. Well, Ricky, I'll have to talk to Renee, and we'll pray to God and see what happens. Okay. Needless to say, I hung the fucking phone up and I went and paid for all the medicines myself, took the car and did everything I said I was going to do to it, come back, filled their fucking refrigerator up and their cabinets with groceries and their gas tank full of fuel. I paid off their electric bill and some on top of that, so they didn't have to worry for the next month or two. I did it all on my own. I didn't ask for nothing other than Bill to help me pay for half of the cost of the medicines. That's all I asked him for. But he's got to talk to Renee, his wife. They've got to sit down and read the Bible and pray to God about this. So here comes the comments about these people on his Facebook page after his death last October that I didn't find out about until about 3 a.m. yesterday morning on my own, needless to say. I read one comment that just fucking made me livid. This man said that Bill was such a generous, big heart, kind human being that he was shocked to see that for the first time that he seen Bill do it, he'd always stop these people holding signs and give them money. He said he did it to everybody he ever seen on a street corner. He's got to talk to Renee, and they've got to pray to God in order for them to decide if they're going to help me pay for half of the medications for my mother and father. Yet that motherfucker can run around Denver, Colorado and hand money out to total fucking strangers without having to talk to Renee and pray to God. So how goddamn condescending is that? Another one was that he went to Toys R Us every year and they used the number 100 bicycles and toys, meaning that 100 kids got bicycles and toys every Christmas for the past multitude of years. Oh boy, but he's got to talk to Renee first though, and they've got to pray to God. It just makes me livid. They've got to pray to God to make a decision on whether he himself can step up and help his mother and father out. You see, what I think my brother intentionally did was he didn't give a fuck about my brother, my mother and father, after he got out of Fort Smith, Arkansas, after he got up to Denver, Colorado. And it just astonishes me. It really does. It does. I'm just putting words out there right now. But yeah, that'd make anybody pretty fucking livid to find out that a so-called brother, a man of God, a law enforcement agent, has to talk to their wife, and they got to pray to God to decide whether they help their parents out or not with some medications. That's just fucking that. You put whatever words you want to it. I think it's just fucking irresponsible of a God-fearing man, a law enforcement agent. You know, if he was that way with my mother and father just on the fact that I was wanting him to help pay for half their medications, how many fucking rights violations, how many people's lives did he ruin as a police officer up there in Denver? When he was a motor officer, and when he became a sergeant, and then once he became a lieutenant, how many fucking lives did he ruin? Oh, he's a great man. He's kind. He's a good cop. You motherfuckers, Renee, Terry, Nathan, David, Stephen, and Matthew Baker, fuck you. You disrespectful motherfuckers. So I hope one of y'all die. And I hope that when it happens, nobody tells any of you about it. Nobody knows. Yeah, that's pretty fucking sad, man. Pretty sad for a man to proclaim that he's a God-fearing Christian, Bible-toting, studying motherfucker. Yeah, sure. Excuse me, but when I cry a little bit, the old sinuses get fucked up. And every one of you human beings here in this world absolutely do the same thing. So, nevertheless, I guess I'm venting, but I have a right to vent. I've got a right to be fucking mad. Absolutely. Absolutely do. Not at my brother. No. He's dead. He's been in the ground since last October. No, I'm mad at Renee Baker. I'm mad at Terry Baker, Nathan Baker, David Baker, Matthew Baker, Stephen Baker, and any other fucking Baker out there that's around here, including my nephew Maxwell that still lives in Fort Smith, Arkansas, but ain't fucking bothered to call or come and see me. I guess he forgot that when he joined the Marines right out of Southside High School that he didn't have a driver's license. But you know, I guess what I'm saying is I don't think he remembers that I took him down there and saw Judy Millisoff, driver control officer here in Fort Smith, and actually convinced her to sign off on him not having to take that driving exam because I brought him over to her right after he passed the test because he was leaving out in about 2 or 3 days to go to 29 Palms, the Marine Corps base training, or Marine Corps training. I guess he forgot that. I don't know. I want people to comment on this, and I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't care. I just want to see the stupidity of people. I mean, is anybody out there ever had this happen to them? I carried my oldest sister, Katie, to her grave in '91, and my brother was on the other side of the casket. In August of '01, when we carried my father to the grave, my brother was on the other side of the casket. When my mother passed away, 7 months after my daddy, when we carried her to the grave, my brother was on the other side of the casket. Then when my sister Connie passed away, our second oldest sister, we carried her to her grave. And they're all four buried together over here on State Line Cemetery in Fort Smith, Arkansas. But he was there on the other side of the casket all 4 fucking times. carrying our loved ones and siblings and our mother and father to the resting place. Yet this Bible-toting, badge-carrying, gun motherfucking man of God has got to pray to God in order to help somebody. Not even, God, that just makes me fucking mad. So, here we go. I think I've said it all. I've got it off my chest, so to speak. How can a human being be so insensitive towards another human being? I don't get it. I mean, wait a minute. I do get it. I just don't understand why. Even though that sounds cliche, kind of an oxymoron, what the fuck ever you want to say, I don't care. But there you go. Renee Baker, Terry Baker, Nathan Baker, Matthew Baker, David Baker, Stephen Baker, any of you fucking Bakers out there that are kin to me, fuck you. You sorry son of a bitches. Don't ever mention my name in conversation, because I'll feel it. I'll know I'm being talked about. I have that sick sense of understanding on that. So, until next time, people, see ya.